What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing okay with all the current events that are going on in this world. I've been reading the comments and you guys want to see what happens with the auction STI. Well, in today's video is the day you've been waiting for. Here is the car as you saw it. Nothing has changed. You know what? This garage isn't doing it. Let's get this car outside in the sunlight. Now that we have this car out in the sunlight, we can get a better look at it and see what we're working with. A few of you guys did point out in the comment section that this car is lowered to the ground, which you are correct. This car does have aftermarket coilovers, which gives it a slammed look. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I'm not a big fan of it, and that's kind of one of the modifications we're going to do to this car, solely because this car was designed to be a rally car, and it was the flagship for Subaru back in 2007 for its rally performance. So that's the first thing we're going to address, is put some factory coilovers back on this car, get it back to the original riding height.
God, please, no! No!
Based off the modifications, this car doesn't seem like it's been tracked. That's why I want to bring it back to factory specs as much as I can and preserve what this car actually is. So the next thing we're going to address is the black on black wheels. It does look good on certain cars, but it's too much of a stealthy look for this car. I definitely want to bring it back, like how I said, to factory spec. And this car originally did have silver wheels, so we're going to try to get some paint matched to the original color. Finally, we're going to get rid of the old flaking window tint because it is dull and browning and it is bubbling on the rear window. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. All right, guys, so without any further ado, let's go back to the garage, get this car detailed, and we'll start on those modifications. Suspension in from the auto parts store, so we're going to get it up on the hoist, which is going to pose a few challenges. So let's go ahead and get the Subaru started, turned around, and up to the hoist, and we'll take it from there. So as you saw, the stance on the Subaru is perfect. It's like factory. That's exactly the look I wanted to get. So we went ahead and put the Subaru back up on the jack just to take a look underneath. One thing I noticed was an oil leak. And if you look right here, you can see the axles actually popped out. When I was driving this car, I noticed that there was a little bit of a clicking sound when I was turning the wheel all the way one way or the other. And on a lot of the Subaru forums, they were saying it's the axles. But these axles, when we were changing those struts, actually looked really good. The boots were in good shape. When I grabbed onto the axle and twisted it, there was no play in it at all. But now that we've taken a closer look, we could see that the axle right here is popped out and it's causing all this oil to drip down. See, that's what it's supposed to look like, really close. But when we come on this other side, you can see that things popped out. But if I go ahead and try to spin this wheel right here, so it's still engaged, but I think when I'm turning the wheel all the way, one way or the other, it's extending this out and it's kind of just slipping on the end of the shaft where the teeth aren't. Making that clicking noise. So we're going to get that addressed. So the wheels got to come back off, and we're going to try to see if we could push the axle in a little bit more and get that to snap in. And also, if we look at some of the fasteners are missing of the exhausts right here, so that's causing a little bit of the rattles. You can see that right there. So we're gonna find some fasteners, get that buttoned up. But yeah, really happy with this car so far. I did notice that the paint has been repainted at one point in its life, and my dad was suspecting that the front end had damage, but there's absolutely no marks. Everything down here is factory. And my guess is that this car most likely was keyed or vandalized at one point, and it was just repainted. So we got the axle out. We were looking at the teeth, examining it. They weren't too bad. This little locking ring that goes in there and kind of compresses and holds the axle, and it was stretched out a little too much. Looking at the seal, the O-ring actually looked to be in pretty good shape, so I don't know if you guys could see that or not. So everything looks good right here. We call local parts store. It's about $7 for a new one. It's not a big deal. We're gonna just try to get this back in there, and hopefully that clicking noise stops, because there's absolutely no play in this shaft, and all the other ones do seem like they're in good shape. So let's go ahead and get this axle back in there. With a brand new axle seal installed and pushing the axle all the way into the differential, the clicking noise stopped and there were no more oil leaks. Now let's go ahead and focus on the wheels.
Nice.
Before I show you what the Subaru looks like with the fresh paint and new suspension, I had to get rid of the old window tint before the final reveal. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere, because you are not going to want to miss what the Subaru looks like at the end of this video. that is going to be it for the Subaru series. I don't think we're going to see this car anymore on the channel, but I do have a few projects lined up for the channel. So if you enjoy this video, do consider subscribing so you don't miss out. Thanks again for watching. Do check out the links down below, and I will see you in the next one.
Thank God that the brothers on the rise now.